Hey everyone, hope you're all well. Today we'll be looking at why Halo Infinite will have memorable cutscenes during the campaign. Halo has always been known for having some amazing cutscenes, with many of them being so memorable even still to this day. With that said, I think it's fair to say that in recent years, Halo has fallen short of the mark in terms of its cutscenes being somewhat memorable. Halo 5's story in particular lacked the qualities the previous titles had, which of course meant that the cutscenes would be affected, resulting in them being unremarkable and easily forgotten. Halo Infinite really needs to have memorable cutscenes if the story is to be remembered long into the future. So in this video, I'll be going over how Halo Infinite will have memorable cutscenes based off what we know, and why keeping the story simplistic will increase the chance of the cutscenes being remembered for many years to come. Before I begin, I just want to say that so many of you watching right now aren't actually subbed to the channel, so it would honestly mean the world to me if you could hit that subscribe button and help me in growing this amazing community. For all of you who have subbed, just know that I really appreciate you. Anyway, with that out of the way, let me show you why Halo Infinite will have memorable cutscenes during the campaign. Cutscenes have always played a huge part in the Halo franchise, and in general, the gaming world. They are so important as they help set the mood, plot, and general tone for a game. They are used to break up the flow of gameplay, giving the player what's considered a breather, as of course cutscenes are non-interactive. Cutscenes can also be a reward for the player after reaching an objective or successfully clearing a mission, like seen in Halo. Of course, there's many elements that go into making amazing cutscenes, as you would all know, like the voice acting, which Halo has always done very well, music, lighting, among other things, and even determining if the cutscenes will be pre-rendered or using in-engine graphics. Typically, Halo has always used in-engine cutscenes, besides Halo 2 Anniversary, and whilst the Blur pre-rendered cutscenes were amazing, they still changed the overall experience, compared to the original game's in-engine cutscenes. It is personal preference, although I just connect more with in-engine cutscenes, as it doesn't take you out of the environment you were just in. Like, for Halo, if you finish the level using a shotgun, then in the cutscene, you could expect Chief to be holding a shotgun. Simple things like that just really help me connect to the game, and I'm sure that's the same for many of you too. What is great though is that Halo Infinite's cutscenes will be using the in-game graphics engine, which we know is called the Slipspace engine. I think this was a smart choice by 343, and after seeing how stunning and polished the opening cutscene for Halo Infinite was, I am nothing but excited for this game, and seeing the Slipspace engine in full force will for sure be a treat. So that's pretty much what's involved with creating great cutscenes, or the basics anyway. So I won't go much more into that, but that is why Halo Infinite needs to have amazing cutscenes, because only then will they be remembered. The big thing we need to consider though is just at what point does a cutscene become memorable? Now, for a cutscene to be considered memorable, it has to evoke some emotion from the player, whether it's a sad scene.
It was my job to take care of you.
We were supposed to take care of each other. And we did.
Action sequence. Or something in between. This doesn't necessarily mean that cutscenes with these features will become memorable. I mean, just look at Halo 5. The only decent cutscene from that game, in my opinion, was in its opening. And even still, that opening cutscene was very, very over the top, where it was more of a showcase of the new abilities the player would be able to use during Halo 5's campaign. Now, when we talk about Halo, the cutscenes that you see are often simple and straight to the point, which often, but not always, helps them to become memorable. I think Halo Infinite's story needs to be somewhat simple, just so it can entice people who have never played Halo before, or at least those who haven't played Halos 4 and 5. Seeing as Halo Infinite will be a soft reboot for the franchise, I can definitely see 343 making the story quite easy to follow, compared to say Halo 4, where the story was great, although there was just way too much detail and assumed knowledge, which meant that it fell short for the average Halo player who wasn't immersed in the lore. I think Halo Infinite's cutscenes will be similar to how Halo CE and Halo 3's were done, where it was quite easy to follow, although you still understood the stakes and mission at hand. Halo 5 unfortunately had many cutscenes that on paper looked epic, although ultimately fell short of the expectations set by the previous Halo games. It tried too hard to deviate from the original formula, which is why the majority of Halo 5's campaign and cutscenes were so easily forgotten. So making sure Halo Infinite's cutscenes can be understood from a new player's perspective, whilst at the same time returning players, is crucial to Halo Infinite's success, as I know many people will want to get their hands on the Xbox Series X flagship title, let alone the next installment of the Halo franchise. So returning back to the old formula for Halo's cutscenes will be the way to go for Halo Infinite, and it's safe to say, just judging from the Halo Infinite 2019 trailer, that they are doing just that. Another thing that's super important for Halo Infinite's cutscenes is the way in which music is implemented, where it should be used in a way to improve the overall tone and even setting of a cutscene. One example I can give is a cutscene from the mission 343 Guilty Spark from Halo Combat Evolved. This cutscene in particular quickly induced fear for the player, and this was way before we even saw the Flood. This was done in a way where the cutscene amplified the ambiguous tone seen during the mission, where the music added an ominous touch, further enhancing the experience, which is why music is a huge factor for when it comes to a cutscene being considered memorable. Halo Infinite's opening cutscene featured some classic yet epic music that, in my opinion, perfectly captured the atmosphere the cutscene was trying to create. That cutscene gives me hope that the music throughout Halo Infinite will be implemented in a similar fashion, and that fact alone just gets me so hyped. I think it's safe to say that 343 have learnt from their mistakes in the past. They know what they need to focus on for Halo Infinite's campaign so that it's received well, which is why they've really taken their time with this game. The story and cutscenes need to be fantastic and memorable, although what's quite amazing is just how memorable the Halo Infinite opening cutscene really is. Now it's been a year since that cutscene was released, and that we've barely seen anything for Halo Infinite since then, although the opening cutscene was just brilliant in so many ways. It made us connect with a UNSC pilot, Brohammer, who has been separated from his family for many months. This scene evoked strong emotions for myself and many other Halo fans, as we really haven't had the chance to see the impact of the created conflict, especially through the eyes of another soldier. What's crazy is that we've only connected with Brohammer through this one cutscene, and I already feel way more attached to him than, say, Spartan Locke from Halo 5. You really can see the despair in the pilot's eyes as he watches his family turn off for the last time due to the holo device losing power. You can see that Brohammer in this cutscene feels completely alone, with barely any hope left, which is why he takes a while to respond to the friendly signal. He simply doesn't believe it. Then, as soon as he lays his eyes on the Master Chief, you can tell he's in complete shock. But since the Master Chief is the embodiment of hope, it's enough to give Brohammer the courage to bring him inside. This is where the mood changes. You can feel the hope surging through Brohammer as the Pelican restores power thanks to Chief's armor, and of course he gets overwhelmed with joy after seeing Chief wake up. What's awesome is that this cutscene clearly shows the impact the Master Chief has on fellow soldiers, as like I said earlier, he delivers hope. This isn't just another Spartan, this is the Spartan, the one who is considered a legend by all. People need heroes to be inspired, and I think Sergeant Johnson said it way better than I ever could.
Folks need heroes, Chief, to give them hope.
Anyway, this cutscene captured that feeling perfectly, and even at the end where Brohammer wanted to run, Chief was like, hell no, we need a fight, telling Brohammer to get ready and opening the rear hatch. That opening cutscene really sticks out simply because it does so many things right. In my opinion, it's already memorable, and that's before Halo Infinite is even released. The ending cutscene from the E3 2019 trailer was another visually stunning cutscene, although I'm assuming we won't see that scene until later on in the campaign, because it looks very similar to some of the control rooms we've seen in the past. Anyway, to wrap up, I just want to say what we've seen from the Halo Infinite opening cutscene, if anything, suggests that 343 are trying to make the cutscene simplistic and easy to remember, with beautiful visuals and amazing traditional music that screams Halo. If Halo Infinite's cutscenes are done in a similar way to the opening cutscene, which I'm sure they will be, we are all in for an amazing time. And like I said earlier, if the cutscenes are memorable, then there's a higher chance that the story will be remembered long into the future, as of course they go hand in hand. I really feel as though Halo Infinite will be the game to revive the Halo franchise, and making sure the cutscenes are incredible is what's crucial for Halo Infinite's campaign, as if they are executed well, they for sure will be memorable. I don't want to hype the game too much considering we are only days away from the July reveal, which that alone is crazy to think about. We waited so damn long. Us Halo fans deserve a great Halo game, and finally, I think we're about to get it. Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Let me know how excited you are for Halo Infinite and its cutscenes, as I'm sure they'll be memorable. I hope this video has helped clarify any concerns or queries you may have had over Halo Infinite's cutscenes and the general direction they'll be going in. Quick reminder that I'll be streaming my reaction to the Halo Infinite reveal. I'll be scheduling the live stream tomorrow, but it would be awesome if you could join. And if you want another way to connect with me, I suggest following me on Twitter or joining my Discord. Both will be in the description. Anyway fam, thanks so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want to support me that little bit extra. Thanks guys, have a good one.